Chris, when you think about what's going to happen here, we'll just handicap it straight up. Do you believe that there will be and not just an appointment, but someone who's appointed and gets that role and gets voted in before the election or before the lame duck session's over?
Yes. So, base case
100%.
that Trump. Well, no, it's Washington. I mean, nothing's 100%, but I think, sometime this week, as early as tomorrow, President Trump will nominate a female nominee to replace the late Justice Ginsburg, either Judge Amy Coney Barrett or Judge Barbara Lagoa. You'll have a Judiciary Committee hearing sometime likely in October, which unfortunately is probably going to be like the Kavanaugh hearing on steroids. And then depending on, the public perception and polling of that, we'll either have a vote before the election or we'll have a vote probably right after the election. The big variable is Arizona. You have a Democrat, Mark Kelly, running against Martha McSally. If Kelly wins that race on November 3rd, he could be seated as early as November 30th. This is the seat to fill the remainder of the late John McCain's seat. So you do sort of have multiple variables here, but it seems all signs would point to Trump nominating someone as early as tomorrow.
And Chris, would it be considered a Democratic fever dream that makes no sense to think that there will be Republicans who would ultimately vote against or try not to vote, in this case, for a nominee?
Well, so the Senate right now is 53-47 Republican-controlled. So in a 50-50 tie, Vice President Pence would break the tie. So McConnell and Trump can lose 3 Republican senators and still get a confirmation. They've already lost Susan Collins from Maine and Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, saying they would not vote before the election. So there's still some room. A number of sort of swing votes or perceived swing votes came out over the weekend saying they would vote to move forward. Rob Portman, Lamar Alexander, Roy Blunt, a couple others. Really, this is going to come down to Mitt Romney, maybe Chuck Grassley, and a few others. But and then, we'll probably get some polling on this in the next 48 hours or so that could also influence those senators who are still keeping their powder dry.
Chris, and then separately, there has been speculation over the weekend. You hear it from Democrats saying if the Republicans were to go through and confirm the president's nominee, that there might be conversations about trying to expand the court in the future if the Democrats were to get into control. Does that make sense to you? Is that a good idea, a terrible idea?
Well, it makes sense in that I think this has already started moving, and I think this really just accelerated what was the trend line. And if you look back to the John Lewis funeral, when former President Obama gave the eulogy for John Lewis, when he equated the filibuster as with racism. He said that the filibuster was a relic of Jim Crow. To us, that was really the signal event that if the Democrats sweep, the filibuster could well be gone. Right. The big deal there is that you can then you could, in theory, increase the size of the Supreme Court, and you could also bring in Puerto Rico and perhaps Washington, D.C. as new states, increasing in each state getting 2 new senators as well. So really, incredibly massive policy changes.